Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all again. Hello, Yazin, Felix, Ekali. How you doing? Sorry, running a bit late there. Just trying to get things in order. I just had a big day today, dealing with a few different issues, not related to the waves, mainly related to some technical difficulties that other people have been having. Family related type stuff. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So all good. So once I enter the live control room, we can proceed. Welcome back, Seven Sin. All right. So as I mentioned on my tweet, I have been banned for 24 hours from TradingView for breaking the house rules, which was merely just mentioning the word YouTube in my description of one of my videos, which you're not allowed to do. Even though you're allowed to post to YouTube from TradingView, which is to me is kind of like a little bit silly and whatever. I'm not going to argue. And that's why I'm glad that we have the YouTube channel, because now you can still get live updates from your very favorite host, RS Wave. Well, that's me. I am RS Wave. I created it. My name is Mike, and welcome back. So, at the moment, I'm basically in the process of getting ready to share my screen. Just waiting for a few more people to come back in and say hello. It's nice to see you too, E-Collie, even though I can't see you. I like your emoji. Peace. Yeah, you see, the reason why I haven't gone ahead and said, oh, you know what, let's change our view and tweet something, even though I couldn't post on TradingView. I was too busy today to do a live stream earlier, but I could have tweeted something. I could have tweeted like, oh my God, we're in a bull market already. But hang on a minute. No, we haven't even broke the lows yet. How can that be possible? It's not possible. Right. So you just need to be calm. You need to be relaxed. You need to understand what we're dealing with here. Okay. So it wasn't a sharp wave two, right? Like I thought it was. Instead, it revealed itself as something even better, something more readable, something that I'm about to discuss with you very shortly once I prepare my screen, and then we'll get right to it. So cheers to everybody who has decided to join. Seems that the bull run won't be occurring soon. Chinese miners are getting cancelled. Not good for BTC, but good for altcoin or alt projects. Yeah, well, who cares about BTC? I don't care about BTC. Do you care about BTC? I care about XLM. Sorry. BTC had its run for this bear market rally, right? It's already had its run. You should have taken your profits already. Okay, you should be getting ready to pump it into XLM, right? There will come a time when you'll need to take it off XLM and pump it somewhere else. So therefore, really, what does it matter? But yeah, interesting news though. There's always some kind of news narrative for all the different things that are happening in the crypto world. somehow they all align with the waves. Isn't that amazing? It's called human psychology. So that's what we deal with in the waves here. So to me, what we're seeing, right, and I'll start sharing my screen. Hi, Matthew. How are you today? Good to see you joining the live stream here. So basically, I'm about to share my chart. If I could just press the right button, this would all be easy. There we go. All right. So here we go. Now you should be able to see what the hell is going on, right? So we had our first wave 1 down. Okay, so initially I thought, okay, maybe we had a sharp wave 2 because it pulled back to 0.618. But then we had this move down, which reversed. And then what do you know? We have an A wave. We have a zigzag. So that's not the end of wave 2, by the way. Wave 2 hasn't quite happened yet, which is interesting in itself. So we need to really be mindful of what we're looking at now. So first things first, let's zoom in to this particular pattern. Okay. Now that's a zigzag to me. I'm just going to straight up label this. Whoops, without doing anything else that's not meant to happen. So I'm going to straight up label this wave A. Okay, that's it. That's A wave. That's a zigzag, right? Done. So what does that mean? That means, okay, so A wave is the deepest in terms of retracement. So therefore now we're looking at a B wave, which will likely be smaller. Have we seen any of that kind of price action yet? Would be my first question. So digging a bit deeper underneath the surface, I can see a 5-wave move followed by a 3-3-5-3-5. So we could potentially be looking at the end of B wave now. Potentially. Okay, everything's potentially. You got to be careful what words you use these days because the wrong people hear them and then they decide to use it as a weapon against you and start throwing spears and darts and try to injure you on the online forums of the world. So basically, we're just looking at some kind of wave 2 correction in progress, which means, yeah, sure, this thing might be dragged out a bit longer, but you know what? That's good. That means that this has got weakness. There is weakness in the market. That means that this is not going to just go boom down and then potentially keep going, right? It tells me that, hey, we're trying to make a wave 5 here, but yeah, we just don't have enough strength to go straight down. Eventually we will, and then we'll come back up. Okay. So to me, it's just about understanding the waves and understanding that what we've just seen now is simply put a wave. So it never went above the start of wave 1 down. It's probably around, 0.786. Right. So if you put the Fibby right there, didn't quite make it there. So basically around the 0.618, still just above it, rejected, right? And internals tell me that this is potentially wave B. So I suppose this is just a little bit of an update, considering that I cannot post a trading view because I've been banned until tomorrow, simply by putting the word YouTube in my description of my last XLM video. So yeah, that's kind of like overkill for being a moderator. Like that's just petty in my opinion. Felix says, I had a red line about 0.347 inspired by your previous post and noticed the price kept getting rejected right at that point. which kept me pretty reassured. Can't wait to find out what that means. Oh, you have a lot to learn. It's just an A wave. And you know what? It's probably going to be the deepest wave, which means the highest wave in this corrective wave 2. Most likely. Most likely what's going to happen here is that we're just going to consolidate for a little longer and then finally make a wave 3 down. Finally, to break that low. So we haven't quite seen it yet, but it's on the way. Yeah, well, that's right. That white line is the start of wave 1 down. It cannot go above that white line. Otherwise, the count is invalidated. But the reason why that can't happen is because we've already identified this as wave 4, end of wave 4. So we need to see 5 waves down. And if you know anything about 5 waves, is that wave 2 cannot go, in this case, above the start of wave 1, right? Then we get your wave 3, has to be the longest, can't be the shortest. And then wave 4 cannot go into the price territory of wave 1 and 2 unless it's a variance of a 5-wave move, which could be an ending diagonal or a weak wave C or a weak wave E, type 1, 2 in each case. Yeah. You need to learn the program to understand the lingo with all the descriptions and graphical information that is shared. Actually, Matthew here, Matthew Fraser, he is a member. Matthew, if you could please comment on some thoughts so far on what you've learnt on RS Wave, I'd appreciate that. If you can, if you're not busy with anything else at the moment, just to let people know, how you feel about the program, what you've learnt so far. Does it give you perspective or anything like that? So basically, nothing has changed, right? It's just the only thing that might have changed is potentially your emotions. You may have thought, hang on a minute, he said this was meant to go down. Why is it going up? Should I buy? Did I buy? Did I end up selling again because I was confused? That's the usual story. I get a few of those messages per day. And it's just all about emotions, right? And that's where psychology comes into actually learning the waves, right? Now, I was away visiting my grandparents today, helping them with their tech because some old people, they're not quite some of them are good. My grandpa's he's all right. He does a lot of CAD design, that type of stuff. But recently he bought this new laptop and he just, he basically just uses like the internet for his phone, right? So I try to rebundle his whole electricity, gas, and internet, and it's actually going to save him money. But with old people, they tend to think that, oh no, you're going to get scammed, you're going to get it's going to be worse. I'm like, no, actually, you're going to get your internet for free, and that's because they actually have cheaper gas and electricity. And it's like, it just took all this commotion, and then my mum got involved. Once she gets involved, that's it, done. Deal's done, case closed. And then we can move on with our lives, right? Isn't it funny how mums can do that? But yeah, that's pretty cool. Hi, Kemememstri. I think that's how you say your name. How you doing? Yeah, so look, guys, I don't want to make this I don't want to drag this out for too long, right? Basically, I'm just trying to let you know that we are still in wave two. Wave two has not ended. So what that means is, what that means is that's fine, because once we get to wave three, wave four should be sharp. So to me, what that means, so basically it's all about alternation, right? It's the same thing as if you go back 4 hour chart, right? You look at basically like wave two, small, wave four, massive, right? Alternation. That's alternation at its finest. This is probably the best example of alternation I could ever give you in my whole life and that I've ever seen, right? So taking that same principle, you go to the hourly chart, right? And you look at this and you're like, okay, fine. So you've got a bit of alternation going on here with, you got wave one, you got wave two, which is obviously going to be a bit of a drawn out wave. But what does that mean? Right? It means the longer that wave two gets drawn out for, right? That means that once wave three happens, wave four will be sharp, right? It'll make people feel like it's retesting the break of the lows, and then it'll drop once more, make people sell, right? Oops, hang on. Right? It'll make people sell. And then I reckon this is going to fool a lot of people, is that the market will then have completed its 5 wave move, and then bang, it'll start going straight up. That's what I envision happening. So the more that wave two gets drawn out sideways, excuse me, the more I see the law of alternation making this bottom rip the face off most of the people who think that it's going lower, because they see Bitcoin going lower, which I believe will happen. It's still yet to be seen. But as you know, we use the XLM BTC chart to confirm this kind of thinking, ideology, theory, right? Based on a methodology, RES wave. So the death cross forming on the BTC chart, yes. BTC, I've already said it. I don't need to go back to it. It's preparing to take a dive, right? And I actually had a meeting with one of my members, John, last night, where I actually explained, we had because he's recently become a member, it's a pretty interesting story. He's a pretty cool guy. And to him, I'm more of an advisor than, to me, he doesn't really want to get into the nitty gritty, because he's just so busy, right? Some people don't have time for that. But he's still paid for it, and he just loves the advice and knowledge, and sort of that feeling of reassurance, that peace of mind that comes with knowing somebody who does the sort of work I do, right? So basically showed him the XLM BTC chart and this chart, and then also showed the RES wave pattern chart and how you can use them to understand what's going on. And this C wave that's happening in XLM is a completely different pattern than the C wave that we're about to see in BTC. BTC, the C wave in Bitcoin it's a far bigger wave that's coming than this wave that's a C wave also, but it's a C wave of a D wave, right? It's a C wave of a D wave. So in Bitcoin, we're seeing a C wave, a major C wave of a wave two pattern. So it's just a matter of perspective. It's the whole fractal pattern thing. And that's the most interesting part of it. So once he sort of caught onto that concept, he was like, he sort of understood a little bit more about why I believe that these prices are going to diverge and why Bitcoin will have to continue going down and XLM will go up, right? It explains it, but using its total logic, using the methodology, right? Thank you, Matthew. And that's right. You haven't seen a new low yet. There's no need to worry because this cannot go up anywhere else unless the low has been broken. Now, whether it breaks it a little bit or just a fraction underneath it, whether it's 27 cents, 26, 25, who cares? The point is, we play it safe. We buy when we see the confirmation of the low, right? So thank you, Matthew, for sharing that. We're trying to play it safe here. If you get really good at RS wave, then obviously you can be way better than me. Like, to me, I'm so busy with people trying to help them learn the basics that the person who buys a program can actually have all this time to just learn it themselves, and I will help them as well. So you know, I'm good at prioritizing my time for everything. So I enjoy actually speaking to my members thoroughly. I really like the kind of people who sign up to this. It's actually quite interesting that I enjoy that so much because I never expected to meet these kind of people and that they would be interested in this kind of thing. And it actually shows that once you get on a certain frequency, you attract people on a similar frequency with similar thinking and ideologies, and you kind of form like a bond and like even like a friendship, and it's all about community, right? So thank you, Matthew, again for that. Appreciate it. Welcome back, Flashback. You came back in a flash. And welcome to you as well, E. Collie. And I believe I've said that, but I just wanted to say it again because your name is very interesting. Yeah, Felix, that's right. It's a pretty cool way to look at the waves because it's kind of like how can I explain this in a way that it's going to sound the most a good analogy, right? So it's kind of like you got to wait for the fruit to ripen before you pick it. It's the same thing as waiting for a wave to ripen, right? To the point where it's complete. It's completely ripe. It's done, right? So if you're just some regular person who doesn't know much about fruit picking or, whatever, like you're going to go and pick a fruit that might not be ripe and you'll be like, this is ready, this is ripe. And then someone might tell you, hey, this is not ripe. A professional will come along and say, actually, this one's ripe, and that's sort of the thinking with the waves. It's like, this has not ripened yet. It'll ripen when it makes a new low. And then you're ready for the new harvest. You sow the new seed, and then you reap what you harvest, right? So every wave has a beginning and an end, right? You reap and sorry, you sow and then you reap what you sow. And it's all this pattern that repeats over and over again. So you just got to learn the pattern. And then that what comes after, you have so much evidence, you have a collaboration of evidence. It's like Minority Report here. You're grabbing this screen, and you're putting them together and you're moving them apart. And you can see that this is the rules, this is the regulation, the guidelines, And then you're making your, you have your community to help you. You have me here, right? To sort of guide you, like where we're going. What does this mean? Okay, so the wave count changed a little bit, but it doesn't change the overall count because we haven't made the new low. So therefore, we're not freaking out yet. We're not buying yet. We're we're just trying to figure out what is this move, right? Because once we figure out what the move is completely, we will know that that's time to buy because it'll hit that low and then you buy. Simple as that, right? If you margin trade, then obviously as time progresses and the community grows, we're going to have a whole bunch of different groups of people within the RES Wave community who will be in different, like, I suppose, closed groups, and they can all interact with each other, and we'll basically form a consensus, right? What do we think? Do you think this is going to happen? And then eventually it'll just become like synergy, right? You'll build a synergetic effect that'll basically help everybody, sort of like a meritocracy, like Ray Dalio talks about, right? That's the kind of stuff I like, right? When you can build a community and leverage the strength of people's intelligence when they have a wave methodology that is capable of doing this kind of thing, I think the sky's the limit. We're only just getting started here, right? So if you want to be a part of that, well, by all means, you know what to do. 50% off until the end of June, right? And that's just true. That's right, Matthew. See, Matthew knows we don't pull the trigger until we have confirmation of a low, because that's going to prove that not only can we buy at a decent price, but we also know what comes next, right? And what comes next, you're going to have that faith and that confidence to also believe where that's going, right? If you didn't have the confidence to hold and not buy until we hit 27 cents, how are you going to have the confidence to sell at any given level up the top? How are you going to do that? It's just going to be impossible, right? And this is just going to be an ongoing process, right? We're just getting started. It took 6 years to develop RES Wave, right? This is like a year and a half to 2 years into the TradingView posting, now YouTube, right? We're going to be going for years here. This is just the beginning, right? So we're gonna focus on so many different things, but we're going to take it a step at a time, please, right? We need some more people on board. We need to get more people interested in actually learning the waves, because most people are just part of the crowd. Like, the Lord is my shepherd. What, are you a sheep? Okay, I understand the whole faith and religious beliefs of certain people, but just think about that for a second. Lord, you are my shepherd. That means you're sheep. That means you follow the crowd, right? That means you need a leader, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm the wave god here, right? But I'm just saying that you can't follow the crowd and expect to make money, because most people lose money, right? That's my point. Okay, I know my analogies can seem a bit far out sometimes, but I'm really just trying to make a point. Thanks again, Matthew, for that. That's pretty cool stuff that you're writing there. Okay, Quarter asks, do you think it's going to just bounce from low or going to go in slow motion up? Okay, so the simple answer to that is, once wave 5 has completed, we are looking for an impulsive move to the upside. It's not going to be slow motion. It's going to be extremely fast. In fact, that's the whole point of a triangle. Okay. This particular triangle, right, is wave 4. So it could have easily just made wave 5 already, but it didn't have the strength. So it had to go through all this consolidation, right? And then finally, when it spat it out, right here, you could see that E wave ended right there, right? It spat out a wave 1. And then you could see the strength in wave 2. Like it even gapped up at the top of the wave C of wave A. And then it just came back down because like it has to complete the pattern. It's law. It's baked in the cake, right? This is why RES wave is so powerful. It's baked in the cake. Proof is in the pudding, right? It has to make a new low to be considered a 5-wave move, right? Now, let me go back to the basics. There are only 2 patterns that the markets make: a 5-wave move and a zigzag, which has 3 waves. But the B wave has the RES wave pattern in it. And that's something that you're going to have to work out for yourself, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is this thing is trying really hard to make a low. It's having trouble making a low, but it has to make a low by design, right? This is nature's law. This is it has to happen, right? Has to. And once it does, and it finally completes that 5-wave move down, it's going to have so much upward pressure that it's going to break the all-time highs. Okay, mark my words on that one. It's going to smash the all-time highs. It's going to probably hang around there for a while, go a bit higher, retest the all-time highs. We don't know how long that's going to take, but once that's done, this thing's going to go far higher than most people would even dream of, right? But it's just like 2017. If you don't know when to get out, you're going to lose your profits because you just won't know. You'll be like chasing dreams. Like you'll be like part way to millionaire, and you'll be like, oh my God, I got to get out. Some of you will become millionaires. Oh my God, I can be even richer. So you'll just hold on. Some of you will pull out too early. Some of you will pull out too late. Some of you won't even pull out, and we all know what happens, when you don't pull out. Anyway, I think this is going somewhere else now. So let's get back to the subject. Yeah, thanks, Felix. I try to come up with ways of explaining things, simply because we live, like, everything is nature, right? Like when it comes to like sowing and reaping, you reap what you sow. You have to understand that these are all human things. These are all natural things, right? Even though like we are, like, a lot of people think, oh, humans are polluting the world. They are causing climate change. They are burning too many fossil fuels, and some humans are evil, some humans are good. Guess what? We are all natural occurrences in this universe. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter who you think you are, no matter what actions you perform, you are part of that ever expanding fractal pattern, part of nature, right? That is inevitable, right? It is inevitably going to happen regardless of one person, right? Regardless of one group. We're all part of nature, and it's the same at every level, whether it's a fruit picking, whether it's what you reap, what you sow, whether it's looking at leaves and the patterns on leaves and spirals and Fibonacci's and all that stuff that they teach you in Elliott wave in the last section, which makes more sense than the first section, right? You start to understand that basically no matter what happens, it's all baked in the cake. It's the proof is always going to be in the pudding. And that's the thing that keeps me so motivated to continue pushing this thing further and further ahead every single day, right? Every single day. And you can see it unfolding, right in front of you. And I'm not going to stop. In fact, I want you to learn it so you can do it yourself. And then we can form a community where we can all just damn well understand the waves. And then people who don't understand, well, why would they be involved, right? They're just part of the herd. They're just sheeple people, right? They have a lord who is their shepherd, right? You know, and I don't no offense to religious people, right? But I'm not following nobody when it comes to waves, right? I follow my methodology. I show you what I put out. I prove it to you. If I'm wrong, I tell you why I'm wrong. I present to you another opportunity to understand, right? But the best opportunity to understand is to actually learn it, right? Like Matthew says, and he's right, it actually gives you peace of mind. Flashback. Mike, do you think the Great Reset is going to have to get everyone in the market before they pull the plug? Will that be the reason for the massive bull run before the crash? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And it's already on the way. It's the same thing as what happened right before the GFC. Wave D is the same pattern that happened before the GFC, right? Do you want me to show you? Here, let's use this damn chart for something good for a second, right? All right, let's just go to the US 30 chart. I'm gonna show you something, right? Because I love this stuff. You know what? Let's use the DJI chart. That one that one drives me insane. Like I just love that chart. Okay, right. So here we have a wave one. We have A, B, C, D, E. So just picture this, the same damn thing, right? And if you don't believe me, wait until I show you the NASDAQ chart, right? So we had a small a B. Now this is called a weak wave C. And then you had your D. What are we seeing now? This is a D. What happened after the D? E. Was E the biggest wave? Yes. Is that going to happen again? Yes. It's the same thing all over again, except we're getting ready for something that's coming that's much bigger. We're going to have a third of a third wave. It's going to be massive, massive. So it's going to really determine who is going to be winning and who is going to be losing. So if you're not in this right now to win, right, and you're just dilly-dallying around thinking, oh, maybe he's wrong, maybe he's right. Well, you know what? If you take a look at the bigger picture, dude, right, something a lot bigger is happening than just XLM or BTC or whatever the hell coin you're looking at, right? Go look at the bullish series on my website, right? On the bullish series page, right? That's why I made that. So I can try to get it through your head. What the hell is going on here? This is a 1-2-1-2 pattern, part of something that is coming. This is going to be huge, huge. I can't explain how huge. Absolutely. Especially in the short term, especially when you're not in a bull run, right? It's more important to know when to get out. And that's exactly what I do. That's the key component as to why I even begun to go on this journey to figure it out, right? And it was a long damn journey, I tell you that much. Yeah, you can't be greedy because that's, look, it's not even about being greedy because we're all freaking greedy, all right? We just need to be sensibly greedy, right? We need to be sensibly understanding when we should just get the hell out of there, right? Because we know that something is coming, but then there's going to be another opportunity to go back in. So we're just following the ebb and the flow, right? The ebb and the flow. You go up, take it off. Go down, put it in, right? It's been the same thing the whole way. So once I realized how this affects every single market, I created the bullish series, and now we have this great big following, and this is only just getting started, right? So this is part of a bigger agenda, the great reset, right? The more you pump this D wave up now, right here, right? Okay, which is expected to go to about 40,000 on the Dow, right? So even if you have a crash from 40,000 on the Dow, roughly down to where I think it's going, the previous wave 4 or the top of the previous wave D, that's 62%, right? If it's any deeper than that, well, it can't go below the previous the GFC, the end of wave 2 there. That's just, it just can't do that. Now, I don't think it's going to do that, right? I think that we're going to find some resistance around the red line there, but I'm just trying to give you an example here. Now, let's go to the NASDAQ quickly so I can show you what I think about that one. Now, it's a little bit different. The pattern is a little bit different on the NASDAQ, but it's the same pattern. Okay. So if you go back here, right, you have a look at the first wave 1. It ended down here. But then you had a wave A, the B expanded like what the hell? That's called a bubble, right? Now, where else have we seen a B wave that is expanded like that? That's a pretty big B wave compared to where the end of wave 1 ended. Bitcoin. B for Bitcoin. Oh my God, it's like I just guessed that or something, right? So when B waves are expanded, they tend to go back down to roughly where wave 1 ended, but it doesn't guarantee it. It doesn't guarantee it. There is no rule to say it can't go below it. So as you can see, it actually lost. It lost 83%. Okay, 83%. And then we had our C, our D. Hang on, let me get rid of this. Our C, our D, and E, right? So it was a different pattern, but it's the same damn thing, right? It's just, you know, it's the same pattern, but certain waves were bigger in one market compared to the other market, right? Now we're looking at a technology stock. So the technology stock drove the first part of the freaking bubble, and then the D wave drove the second part of the freaking bubble, which is the real estate bubble. I mean, at the moment, you look at the wave we're looking at now, this is happening all over the place. This is the everything bubble all at once. So what do you think that E wave is going to look like? Right? Is that E wave going to be just a real estate bubble popping or just a .com tech bubble popping? No, it's going to be freaking everything popping at the same time. Right? Now think about what that's going to do. It's going to be a great reset. That's the whole point, right? So what we're doing is we're trading the last portion of the D wave in the Dow, in the NASDAQ, in XLM, but not every coin is in the same area, right? Bitcoin is not in a D wave. Bitcoin is about to see a C wave, but you can't just look at one chart and say, oh, C waves are this big. No, every chart is different. Once you learn Arias wave, you start to understand why. Why is every chart different? Why? Because they're all different. That's it. You're all unique. Have you ever seen a person that looks exactly like a person? Well, even twins have differences, but you know, that's arguable to some extent. But you know, generally, every wave is unique, everybody's unique. Nothing in this universe is exactly the same. Everything is unique. So Arias wave merely tells you, it gives you the framework to understand what you should expect, right? Because we all know that we're unique, but we all have two hands, two legs. Well, most of us do, right? Unless you've been in some terrible accident. But you know, we have one head, you know, uh, we're not living in Mortal Kombat land. I don't have 4 arms. You know, I'm not Goro, you know, and stuff like that, you know. I mean, it's predictable to a certain extent, but you've got to use your logic to fill in the gap, to fill in the blanks, right? So I can give you the framework, but you need to fill in the blanks. That's what it's all about. So every time I get it wrong, that's just me filling in the blanks wrong, right? So that's why I always say it's not Arias wave that's wrong, it's me, the person who's interpreting the waves. That's why I love getting feedback from Mr. Matthew Fraser. And soon, when I see more of my members, I'll get more feedback. But you have me as a guide as well. So you're not alone. The psychology aspect, yep, that's included in the course, right? It's included in the course. I'm not going to go for psychology here because it's basically all back to the same thing. Money management, don't be greedy, learn the waves, because the waves teach you not to be greedy, because you know that you have an opportunity around the corner and there's going to be this wave, this wave, this wave. You can make money on this wave, this wave, this wave. So it's all actually intertwined in RS wave. So I can't just start spitting some, you know, psychology speech, because it's all intertwined into the waves. Once you understand the waves, you understand why you can't be greedy. You understand why money management is important, right? Most people don't know what comes next. So it's like a casino. They just say, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen next. So I'm just going to go all in, right? At the roulette table, right? And if you do that, you're probably drunk, right? But if you just, you know, happen to just try and, you know, wait a few goes and place one chip, and then, you know, try to find a pattern in the roulette table numbers, you know, the red and the red and the black or whatever, and then, you know, you got more chance than the guy who just says stuff but just chuck it all on 00, right? So basically, if you don't know the waves, you're just chucking it all on 00, right? But if you know the waves, it's kind of like, okay, I know that there's something else coming, and I can tell that I should only risk this much. I mean, come on, money management is just a fancy way of saying, I don't know how to not be greedy. Yeah, that's right. RES wave is just simply put the wave, how they, the waves in a pattern. It's like a guide. It's like a map, right? It's like a map. There's a bullish version and a bearish version, and the secret sauce is actually knowing the degrees of trend in which to use which one, right? It's a paradox, right? Like Matthew would know. You have to be careful when you're learning the waves that you don't confuse the different degrees of trend. Like you could be looking at a C wave, but it's a small C wave, part of a smaller pattern, compared to it's a C wave, part of a larger pattern. So RES wave is like a map, and once you learn the map, right, you install a new program in your brain, right, and then you can, and then instead of just using like guesswork, you access the program and it spits out your desired result. It gives you an answer that is better than not having that program installed, right? And coming from a IT background, that's much easier to explain to people, right? It's the same thing as just like repetitive action. And I've already spoken about the gym thing, consistency is the key. You build your mental muscle, it just goes on and on. Yeah, if you let emotions get in the way, then of course you're going to freaking lose, right? I mean, it's just a given. There's no way you're going to succeed in the waves if you let your emotions dictate how you feel, because um as you know, the waves fluctuate quite a bit. So how the hell in the world is that ever going to be any use to you, right? So just give me one sec. Here we go. Just want to check how I just place in my camera here. There we go. It's better. Right. So, all right. Look, we started talking off XLM. Now we ended up on Bitcoin. Then I started talking about the program. Then I started talking about degrees of trend. Now we're just going all over the place. What the hell am I doing? Well, basically, I'm just trying to explain to you that this C wave is not going to be the same kind of C wave that Bitcoin sees, right? It's actually going to be a much less weaker C wave. And after that, it's going to go up. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has already completed a large degree B wave, and it's about to see a large degree C wave down. This is a small degree C wave. We're in a wave D, up. So this is only part of a B wave, in brackets, a smaller correction, right? So do I believe BTC profits will flow into XLM? Absolutely, right? And also common sense will flow into XLM, right? Do I believe that BTC profits will flow into XRP? No. I've explained that pattern is it's a different pattern, right? So if you pay attention to all of my videos, I know that I go for a long time, but I just can't help myself, right? I am so passionate about this stuff that I just try to bring you as much detail as possible. But I encourage you to learn it yourself, because once you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together, it is better than putting together any other puzzle, including those paper, those little aeroplanes, like the miniature aeroplanes where you glue the bits on, and it's really cool, right? But that doesn't make you money. True. But when you buy something like this and you really start to use your mind, you start exercising that muscle, and I tell you what, you start to see things that are just incredible, and they explain a lot about all the different markets that are going on around the world. And then once you learn RES Wave and then you rewatch the bullish series on my website, it's just like, holy shit, I can see exactly what's going to happen in the future. right? I don't know exactly how it's going to pan out, but I know what to expect, right? I know that this wave is coming. I know that we're going to expect this kind of B wave, but I know that I should not be in at this time. I should probably get out at this time, It's that kind of thing, right? The more into it you get, the more you can risk whatever the hell you want to risk, right? It's up to you what you do with it. But I'm giving you that info. So whatever you do with that info, that's up to you, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm the RES Wave creator, right? I can give you a framework. It's a lot better than going to visit your financial advisor who's going to give you the 60-40 rule. And when the market crashes, you lose everything anyway. So who gives a shit about that? Don't get me started on the bond bubble. Okay, so this is a good question. Kabang Tan, will external events affect waveforming? No, they are one and the same. In fact, this is human psychology. So whatever humans decide to do, and somebody put it pretty cool. They worded it really nicely. Even the evil is baked in the pie. I think it was Felix, if I'm not mistaken. Everything is baked in the pie. The C wave down last year was a corona wave, wave C, right? The E wave that's coming next it's the great reset, right? We are, like I said, we're natural occurrences. Everything is baked in the cake. 9/11, right? That was part of a C wave as well, right? Yeah. That chart I just showed you before, 9/11 was part of a C wave. It was also like a corona wave, right? You just got to think about these things. Once you start to see them, you start to put the pieces together and you start to understand who's in control. Why do we need to print more money? Oh, we need to cause some kind of reason to print more money because the economy that we built is about to collapse. So we go ahead and we create a narrative that could potentially lead to people accepting the fact that we need to print more money to keep this system going, right? Because if we don't give them a reason, then they're going to basically, call us fraudsters and corrupt officials or something like that, right? Which I'm pretty sure they are anyway, but they need to protect themselves from that sort of bad press. So they create these narratives and agendas. Well, narratives are part of their agendas. So therefore, it's interesting once you start to observe the patterns that are occurring are actually part of something that is just based on human behavior, right? It's so much more interesting once you learn it. And I'm just giving you a glimpse of the sort of stuff that I've connected the dots with. It's actually quite amazing stuff. Uh, Lu- Lucas Z, look, I'll look at XRP quickly, but this is pretty straightforward, right? I love XRP. I love the potential. I love what it represents. I love the use case. Would have been better if Jed McCaleb would have stayed at Ripple, but you know what? He created something better. But I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying that we should be involved in both of them. But now is not the right time to be involved in XRP or buying XRP because remember what I said. Wave one, AB. So this is like the NASDAQ pattern, right? Think about that B wave, NASDAQ.com crash. It's the same pattern, dude. Same pattern. All right. What happened after that? C, D. Then we went for bull run. All you got to do is learn the waves, wait for the E wave to end, understand how to count this particular variant of what this E wave will be, trying to understand it as it forms, understand why it could potentially fall to this area. I've explained it many times. And then buy it at its cheapest by using profits that you make from other coins such as XLM. And I'm not a financial advisor. So, it's kind of like, we're trying to do our very best here to understand the waves, right? But once you start to see patterns repeat, it just becomes like a little bit funny. It's like, come on, dude. I put out so many videos that you could literally put this together yourself by now. But when you do learn it, you get my support directly. And I do, have constant contact with you. And I can tell you, we can compare notes, right? That's how I like to think about it. We're trying to build a community here. No one's trying to be right or wrong or who's better, who's not, right? That's bullshit. That's why I can't stand trolls who drag shit on forever rather than just saying, hey, look, maybe we should call it a truce or something, because that's what it's all about, yeah? Humility. I can have humility, but when you keep dragging shit on, that's not humility. So I can't show it back to you. You need to show it first if you want it, right? You reap what you sow, my friend. You reap what you sow. Thank you, David Franquet, for that comment there. That's very interesting. Amazing. Great. Join the program. You will learn all about the waves. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. You just keep following my videos. I don't care. But thank you for mentioning that, and I appreciate it. Felix says, laugh out loud. So much for short-term stream. Oh, shit. All right, let's wrap it up. Look, we'll wrap it up in a few minutes. Let's just ride the wave out, right? Let's just ride it out. TradingView could definitely not handle this insight. But yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, there's more to come. I have plenty of time. If I could talk about half the stuff that I think about, we'd be here all night and we'd have to take a break and then we'd come back again. Is wave 5 going to be as steep as wave B? I don't think so. I think that wave 5 is going to be the same length as wave 1. That's how I measure the waves. In terms of steepness, no, because that means that you're talking about a more downward movement, right? So obviously, if you look at the B wave, right? You look at the B wave. Now there is an angle here. Where is it? Trend angle. Boom. What is the angle? 0.76. So far, what is the angle here? 0.65. And we're not even done yet. I hope that answers your question, because this is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, which adds credence to the idea that this is about to go up. So we're just waiting for this fifth wave to unfold. I know it's slow, and that's actually a good thing, because if it was fast, it would worry me. I'd be thinking, holy shit, this is out of control. It's going down lower. But you know what? The XLM BTC chart tells me that it's not. So whatever. Philosophy stream. Well, my philosophy is this: learn the waves, become part of the community, support each other, and you will be able to predict the future. Because as a group, you'll be more powerful than one person. So far, it's just me. But as a group, as a collective, right? Do you know that back in, I can't remember, I don't know if you know David Woolcock. They did a meditation. It was a group meditation where like 5,000 or 7,000 people meditated all at once. And literally, they detected something changed in the world where there was more peace, less crime, right? It's like an experimental thing, right? We as a collective consciousness have so much power when we come together as a group. So the more people that learn Arius Wave, the more the community grows, the more we can compare notes. I only want honest, decent, giving, friendly people to do this stuff. To me, that's more important than anything else. So I hope that answers that sort of question there. Look, I try to give you as much as I can. I just speak my mind. Like, it's not like I have some notes here, or do I have my notes? Here's my notes. No, I don't have any notes. It's just, I have a photographic memory. I collate data in my mind. Everything I've ever heard, I just have this like insane web of knowledge. But the most craziest part of what I've put together is RS Wave, because it's something that you can give to the public. It's something that you could share. And to see the response from you guys, to me, it's just like, I can't believe it. It's just like, wow, this is amazing. Right? It makes me feel really good. And yeah, what else can I say? It's life changing, right? So just because you want people to learn and to grow using proven techniques that are ongoingly like this, I'm not going to be hanging around for a week or two. I'm going to be here until the year after next, the year after that. This is going to be ongoing, and we're going to try and grow this thing until the wheels fall off, right? We're going to just keep rocking it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what else you guys want to say to me. But that's right. That's the quantum realm. Okay, Einstein. Einstein was a genius, but Einstein was almost scared of the quantum realm, right? Because he didn't understand it. He knew that there was way more beyond his understanding, right? And from what I gather, we have it's almost like we are all gods, but due to the mainstream media, the programming, the conditioning, and all that sort of stuff, it puts us into a low vibration state where we don't even begin to use the mind the way that it's supposed to be used to create a better world for ourselves and even manifest things that are beyond our wildest dreams, right? So I am of that belief that we can definitely change the world if we simply form these groups that go against the grain, go against the mainstream bullshit that they keep pouring into people's minds through the mainstream media, right? And I know this is probably the sort of stuff that YouTube would just automatically X off, right? But I'm just talking about waves. I'm talking about RS wave, unproven strategy. I'm just some guy on the internet. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. I'm just guessing, right? I'm just like assuming that potentially that could be, I don't know, something that might be going on. Like, I have no idea, right? But you got to wonder sometimes, why do things work the way they do, right? Why? Always be curious, stay curious, stay curious. I'm telling you, that's the only way to learn. And you can figure out stuff that they don't want you to figure out. And once a certain amount of percentage of people figure out what they don't want you to figure out, the world changes. The world changes. Look, guys, I'd love to keep chatting. I could seriously have a conversation with you guys all night, right? And I still keep seeing that damn question. Do you still think XLM will go to $55? Oh my God. I believe it'll go higher. Okay, I'm just going to answer you now, John Boy. If you need to know more, go to rswave.com, register, contact me. We can talk some more. But yes, I do believe it'll go higher. But there's a process behind it that most people won't be involved in. Okay. And the reason why we're going there has a lot more to do with the psychology behind the waves rather than hopes and dreams or wishful thinking, right? It's all to do with the technical process that I'm following. So that's it. That's all I can give you for now. But we're tracking this daily. Tomorrow I'm going to post another live stream and on you Trading View and on YouTube. And but yeah, if you want to contact me, I have the Twitter at Arius Wave Mentor. You can email me, Michael at ariuswave.com. You can check out my website, which has got links to stuff on the front page. But yeah, I want you guys to contact me. If you have questions, just ask them, right? But if you don't have to ask a question, just watch the videos. And if you really are that damn curious about learning RS Wave, then just sign up for the program because it's only 50% off for another 15 days, 16, depending where you live. So look, I'm going to wrap it up. Okay. But I'm wrapping it up nicely with a little bow on top. And I'm hoping that you enjoy the gift that I've given you. So it's only one of many gifts you're going to get. Okay. So please, yeah, put a thumbs up on that live stream. hello, Secure Crypto. Great to see you once more. And I hope to catch you on the next one. Peace out, and I'll talk to you soon.